been a week, y'all. It's been a tough week. Hello, people of the world and YouTube fam. My name is Cameron Jackson, and welcome to this latest episode of Cameron's Makers, Friendship and Love. Yeah, y'all, it's been a week. It's been a crazy week. I think last time we were talking about, last week we were talking about the Frontier Airlines, the Go Wild Pass and stuff like that. Well, you also know what was on Sunday, the Super Bowl. And it's really the Benito Bowl, but, you know, you had the Seattle Seahawks playing New England Patriots. A game that I really wasn't that interested in because I knew the Seahawks were going to win, you know what I'm saying? Sorry, y'all. But I was trying to, take a look at the ads, see if there was any cool movie trailers, see the the Bad Bunny Bowl, see how that was gonna be, because I knew it was gonna be about Puerto Rico and showing Puerto Rico heritage, but just everything else that it showed, just the united ability, like the United America, or the United Americas, was just so beautiful, such a display of culture, of diversity, of love, but that night, it was like basically a long weekend because you had Friday, we had Saturday in Denver, at a concert, and then we had Sunday with the Super Bowls. It's just a lot of drinking in there. So, we fast forward to Tuesday, and I wake up with just like the worst lower abdominal pain that I've ever had in my life. Like I feel like I've always had a lot of pain, like on my left hand side, stuff like that. But it's never usually that bad. It's usually just like gas. It comes and it goes. It's pretty fleeting. If I fart or just like let it out, we should be Gucci. But this time it was like really bad, and I was like, I really gotta go to work. I got like no PTO. That's why I took the the day to go to Denver the week before. And I was just like dying. Like I was dying taking a bus, taking a train, going to work. And I got to work and I could only work 3 hours because it was so bad. Like the pain was just so bad. And what I kind of mentioned a little bit about that is that I don't know if it was related to what happened over the weekend or was that related to my wisdom tooth surgery. But a lot of things have been happening crazy in my life, whether they've been health things or financial things or just, I don't know, maybe spiritual things. I'm a believer in God. I'm a Christian, so I always believe like there's a time for trials and tribulations, and there's a time for rejoicing and abundance and celebration, And at the beginning of the year, I was just trying to set myself up for success. I really had, a few New Year's resolutions was to get closer with God, to be more in His presence, to read His word more, to pray more to Him, and then praise and worship Him more, just as every other Christian does, but just to really be in His presence this year and to trust and lean on the voice of the Lord, because there are times where I hear the voice of the Lord, but I have to I'm not quite sure to discern whether that's like myself, my flesh, or whether that's my conscience, or that's the Holy Spirit, within me, which is, I would say some aspects of the conscience as well. And I didn't really know. So I just wanted to, like my New Year's resolution for just God to speak louder and to speak bolder, and for me to obey those commandments and to obey His voice in that, when He's telling me to do, the right things. So we started off the first week, The first week was good. It was a great week. I was back in the Midwest. I went to the Bible study. I was telling everybody that, like, life is good. Life is good. And one of them there was like, hey, be careful now. Like, just know that, like, when life is great, like, it could take a turn for the worse. Who knows? And at first I was like, man, like, don't curse me. Don't tell me no negative stuff. I'm trying to stay positive. Life is great. And then the next week, bro, everything just goes bad, goes south. My car that I took from Cali, the car that had been in my family for 25 years, the car that, that's almost as old as me, I literally took it to the shop like on Sunday, and like a Sunday, and then they did like oil change. They said, oh yeah, it's good, even though like your car is leaking for sure. Like it's a slow leak, but it's covered basically everything in the car, like everything in the engine bay. It's going down the ignition, the exhaust pipe is crazy, But they said just run it till the wheels fall off. Then Monday, shoot, I'm seeing liquid leak from the car. and the car's overheating. And I take it back to them, and they're like, "Hey, man, I think it might be time to get a new one." And I'm like, "What are you talking about? You literally just said run it to the ground. I didn't think it was gonna be a day." They were like, everything with the car, like not just what was leaking, which was the coolant. I guess I had a broken water pump, needed to replace with a water pump. They were talking about the control arm, the struts, tires, battery, all this other stuff, pressure, power steering fluid, all that stuff. And they were like, it's about time. And I understand the car is old, what I'm saying, it has a lot of miles on it, you feel me? But like, I was like, I don't know about all that, you feel me? I don't know about all that. So I've just been, but I know it's a lot to fix it. So I've just been like trying to, talk to God about it and reckon with like, what should I do? So for the past few weeks, I'm saying, I'm just really like, as it says, it's gonna be like $2,000 to fix it. I'm like, $2,000 for a new car, for an old car. So I just been taking the bus and train, like I said, to work. So that was like the biggest thing that was happening. I talked about my work situation already, in a couple last videos. Go back to there if you really want to see it. And then we had the wisdom teeth that was taken out. And then now we fast forward to this week where like my lower abdomen is just hurting crazy. So I get home from work after the 3 hours of working. I'm on Tuesday. And then, I do a little one-on-one with the doctor, and I'm like, yo, I don't know what it is. I'm gonna explain my symptoms. They're like, it could be anything. Could be spleen, could be stomach, could be bladder, could be gallbladder, could be intestine, small intestine, large intestine, appendix. I'm like, damn, man, it got so much in that abdomen area. I didn't even know. And that's honestly one of my flaws, is that just like I'm not really that familiar with the body in general, maybe even my body in general, just because like, I don't know, just wasn't something that was really taught. Like they talked about other species in biology, but they didn't really talk about the human anatomy. I didn't take an anatomy course, only like a forensic anatomy course, was a forensic anthropology course that kind of went over the bones, which I kind of know now based on that, try to remember. But not like the parts of the body and things of that nature. And growing up black and like low income, we didn't really go to the doctors that often. You know what I'm saying? We always had some type of hesitation or speculation about modern medicine. That like there's some remedies and traditional remedies that could be done outside of that. At least just from like our experience too in my family members, having family members get misused and abused and mistreated by like professionals, healthcare professionals. I just never always been something that I fully trusted or that we fully invested in. So now getting this I would say job, and it comes with healthcare, what I'm saying, and it's pretty good healthcare. I'm just like I'll use it more regularly. But talking with the doctor, they didn't know exactly what it is based on my symptoms, but they suggested something. Could be gas related, could not be gas related, could be an ulcer in the stomach, I don't know. So they prescribed me something. And then for some reason something didn't go through with the prescription or whatever, so I had to send it back to them, and I didn't get it that same day. So overnight I was just feeling like crazy stomach pains or pains in my lower abdomen, and I was like couldn't really sleep. So I went to urgent care in the morning because I was like, I'm not doing no emergency via Uber or train or whatever at this time of night, you know what I'm saying? So woke up, went to urgent care, and then they did like a CT. And like this is like the second time in 2 weeks that I got an IV in me. You feel me? Like this is kind of crazy. Like I was really nervous about the wisdom teeth too, because like I said from the beginning, like I had no surgeries, I had nothing wrong with me really, and I was just like, I do the surgery, it's really gonna knock on my body. It's gonna, my body's gonna be traumatized from this, and all these other things are slowly, or some things are happening. Now I'm just like kind of nervous about now. But I got the CT, did a CT scan, and I was like, whoa, they put the contrast in me. I said, whoa, this is crazy, bro. This is crazy stuff. And then, I did that, and then they said, yeah, and they took my blood and and the liquid sample from the from the kidneys, and they were like, yo, you're good. The only thing that we're seeing here is that your bladder might be a little bit inflamed. And I'm just like, what the hell? What do you mean? Like, I didn't even know men get this type of bladder stuff. You know what I'm saying? I'm just kidding. I know everybody gets this stuff, but it's not likely in men. And I'm not doing anything crazy, you feel me? So I don't know, I'm just not drinking enough water, especially from the past weekend, or Is it something that's come down from like the wisdom teeth, or I don't know what's going on. So we just had that health situation go on, and then just the finance things too. Still looking for somebody to live with. You know what I'm saying? To help reduce my rent costs. So just many different things happening. And I'm just like, yo, like God, like why is this all happening? It's like at first, like I said, I really wanted to lock in. I really want to lock in with God at the beginning of the year, and I was going about that process, and now all these trials and tribulations happen. But the thing is, right, you can have either two attitudes. You can have an attitude about like, hey man, like God, like you're cursing me, like man, like screw you, man, like I'm done. I'm not doing this no more. But that's not, I would say, the proper attitude to have. You know what I'm saying? Or you can have the other attitude, which is like, hey God, like I understand that this is not you. Like you are allowing this, but this is not caused by you. You know what I'm saying? Like, so this is just things that happen in life. Due to the free choice, human nature type deal. So this is just, I'm just gonna lock in more with you. I'm going to be more in your word. I'm going to be more in your presence, Lord, because I'm trusting you to get me out of that, and that's something that I'm going through right now, really, that I'm just like, I don't know any way out. There's no man-made solution to this. I mean, we could come up with like, I mean, there is some work that we can do, right? Faith and works, right? There's like, okay, we're gonna budget, we're gonna make sure we pay off some debt, we're gonna, maybe get a second job to help for financial things and get a new car, That's why I could take the bus and the train right now while I can, to help, not rack up any more bills, right? And as opposed to like a car loan and stuff like that. And then for my health, I'm just gonna eat right. I'm just gonna, have some good protein, some veggies and fruits in my diet and stuff like that. So it's the things that we can do to help. But then like I don't know if it's gonna fix everything. You know what I mean? Really, at the ultimate day, I believe that God is a solution to all our problems. You know what I'm saying? Trusting in Him, and it's His timing too. So like I'm in the midst of the fire. I'm in the midst of precarious circumstances. You know what I'm saying? And it's not the best, but I know that if I fully trust in Him, I'm gonna be able to get through. You know what I mean? And I still have joy in that. I still have joy in the sadness. I still have joy in the suffering. I still have joy because compared, like my suffering and my trials and tribulations is nothing compared to what other people are facing. You know what I mean? Of course, it is still something, but I'm just grateful that I'm still alive. I'm grateful I still have health, that I still have at least shelter, food, water. You know what I'm saying? Like basic necessities to get me through, and through that, I'm just gonna be able to succeed. So I just hope that's some advice or just some encouragement for you guys today. That when you're going through the trials and tribs, that you can just get out of that. But yeah, that's basically it. What happened this week? It was a little bit tumultuous, but I hope that this next week, which is the birthday week, is gonna be good. So I'll see you guys back then.